"Is this a slippery slope?" I asked the doctor in the hallway of the hospital. We were standing a few feet from my mother's corner room at the end of the long hallway, the vinyl tile floor feeling hard on my legs after my morning run. Inside the room, my mother lay in the white, starch-sheeted bed in pain from bone cancer, which had metastasized from the breast cancer she had been diagnosed with 12 years earlier. She had just returned to the room from an ultrasound that revealed bilateral deep vein thrombosis, blood clots in both of her legs. "Yes," the doctor replied solemnly. The next 2 weeks were the most difficult time of my life. I ran every morning before going to the hospital, and sometimes I would run again at night in the dark after leaving. I ran to find myself and to give me the strength that I needed to be there for my mother and for myself. Running can give us an enormous amount of strength. For me, the obsession with running and what it means for us as humans started with the presidential physical fitness tests in 5th grade. 2 of the tests were the 50-yard sprint that we ran in the school's parking lot and a 600-yard run that we ran around the grass field. I ran the former in 7.3 seconds and the latter in 2 minutes and 1 second. It was then that I discovered that I had some talent, although I wasn't the quickest in my class, but I was close. It was also then that I discovered the freedom that running confers. Little did I know how much it would change and even direct my life. A year later, in my first formal race of 400 meters on my middle school track team, I became hooked. Running as fast as my legs could, I was free. Free from the noise of the outside world and free from the insecurities of my inside self. And there was no turning back. 38 years later, I'm still running 6 days a week, still running to free myself from the noise and from the insecurities. Sometime between chasing other animals for food and clicking a mouse to purchase a toaster oven on Amazon.com, we stopped living a physical life. Instead, we are told to practice mindfulness, to meditate, to get our minds right. Social media gives us Monday motivation and shouts daily positivity. Law of attraction followers say that our thoughts directly change our lives, that we can manifest what we want from the universe. Parents, teachers, Olympic athletes, and practically everyone else tell us that we can achieve anything that we set our minds to. Many books have been written about mindset and how our minds can control everything, from our love lives to cancerous tumor growth. But that's all wrong, or at least incomplete. We are physical animals first. Think about all the things that you do every single day to attend to your physical being. You have to eat multiple times a day. You have to sleep 8 hours every single night. You have to go to the bathroom multiple times a day. And as a species, we have to have sex in order to continue humanity. Does a lion wake up every day and ask himself, "What's my why?" I go chase an antelope. I don't know why. Am I living up to what it means to be a lion? The lion is the king of the jungle, and he acts like the king because he knows no other way. He uses his physical body to intimidate other animals, chase them for lunch, protect his family, and rule over his kingdom. If we start from the physical body, the outside, and make our physical body strong and resilient and enduring, that changes us on the inside. Many scientific studies have shown that exercise causes profound changes on the inside that positively affect our success, our creativity, our confidence, and our health. From the opioids and cannabinoids released in the brain that cause a perceived euphoria, the runner's high, to the increase in serotonin that makes running even more effective than prescription drugs for ameliorating symptoms of depression, to neurogenesis and synaptogenesis, the formation of new neurons in the brain and connections between neurons in the brain that improves the way we think, including our problem solving, our creativity, our memory, and learning. Research has shown that people perform better on tests of creative thinking after exercise compared to when the tests are taken without exercising first. Neurogenesis even occurs across different species. Research has shown that mice given access to a running wheel for a few months show more than twice the number of new neurons formed in their brains compared to mice with no access to a running wheel. Whether you are a mouse or a human, a sound body creates a sound mind. Exercise also improves our sex lives. It increases our libido and our response to sexual stimulation. And it improves our confidence, both inside and outside the bedroom. Creative thinking and a better sex life aside, running doesn't just add more neurons to my brain and makes me confident. It helps me deal with discomfort. During those moments in every interval workout, in every race, when it becomes physically uncomfortable, I am presented with a question. Do I back off from the discomfort of the pace to make it hurt less? Or do I lean into that discomfort with my courage and push through it to find out what is on the other side? Few times in my life am I presented with such a decisive moment. What am I going to do right now? Running enables us to test the strength of our will by providing an obstacle, and we learn to what extent we are in control of ourselves. All-out physical exertion takes us back to being animals. We are given the opportunity to seek out discomfort so that we may learn to deal with suffering. Every human has 3 parts: body, brain, and mind. When they work together and are equally balanced, life is great and hums along the way life is supposed to. The body would be strong, enduring, resilient. The brain would be buzzing with electrical activity. And the mind would be analytical, confident, and emotionally intelligent, navigating challenges and figuring out solutions to problems. Unfortunately, few people are blessed with such a balance. Body, brain, and mind are often in conflict with one another. They all want to be the boss. But there can be only one boss. Only one boss. Before you use your amazing mind, which is capable of thinking and creating on a level much higher than that than any other animal, you must first understand where your mind's thoughts come from, how they are assembled inside your brain, and how your brain functions inside your body. People tend to think that the brain sits atop the pyramid, controlling the body, but it's actually the other way around. The body is the chief executive officer, and the brain is the chief operating officer. While your brain controls your body's entire operation, it works in service to your body. That's what it evolved to do. Your brain evolved from your body's movements to regulate your body and manage its physiology so that it can efficiently move and interact with the world around you. Walking and running on 2 legs, which evolved from the anatomical change in the pelvis and is among the most complex and sophisticated of all physical movements, was the basis for the evolution of your brain. Physical activity is so important to your brain that it is imperative for it to function properly. But we sit at our desks all day. Our lives have become unbalanced. The body was never meant to stop running and sit at our desk all day, because the body is the boss. When we lose the ability to move the body, we lose our chief executive officer. And mental health, the functioning of the brain and the mind, rapidly declines. I watched this decline in my own mother. She went from this vibrant, athletic woman who played semi-professional basketball and softball and competed in the roller derby and skydived and had a career as a high school physical education teacher to not being able to walk to the bathroom by herself. And her mind changed. She lost hope and wanted to die. Where is that woman who skated in the roller derby? I asked my mother during the last couple days of her life. Bring her back. Bring her back. When we lose the ability to move our body or we choose a sedentary life, we lose our chief executive officer, and the brain and the mind decline. Running eliminates the stress of most of life's problems, heightening the enjoyment of the good things in life, at least for the precious moments that we run. We can literally put space between ourselves and our problems, inserting clarity in the space, and developing the confidence to handle and deal with what is asked of us, like a mother on her cancerous deathbed. The empowerment and confidence that running gives us can make every hour of our lives better. Training the body changes the brain, which affects the mind. Training the body eliminates the conflict between body, brain, and mind, making all three parts work in harmony. There are times in your life that will test you, that will throw you on your back. But if you remember where you came from, if you remember that you are indeed an animal with biology similar to that of many other animals, then you remember that to live life fully, you must fully live physically. And then you can train your body to change your brain, to affect your mind, connecting the three parts of yourself that create your earthly existence. While running does all of these things for me, it doesn't have to do all that for you. What's important is that you find your version of running, what you feel good doing, something physical that gives you confidence, something through which you feel self-acceptance. Because when you accept yourself and you believe that you can accomplish anything, that is true personal freedom. You are no longer timid or scared of pursuing something because your version of running has empowered you to be bolder. So run. Run slowly or run fast. Run 1 mile or run 26.2 miles. Run continuously for 30 minutes or alternate running for 5 minutes and walking for 5 minutes. Run to be creative, run to be imaginative, run to be confident, run to be successful, run to be productive, run to be healthful. Just run. And during those short runs and long runs and slow runs and fast runs, you'll discover who you are and who you can become. You'll discover your animal. You'll create a world of magical neurons inside of you, capable of imagining and creating. And it is that imagination and it is that creation that makes us distinguished from all other animals. And when you create and when you imagine, you'll fulfill your destiny as a physical being, as an animal. And on the foundation of a fitter physical being, you can build a better life. You work from the outside in instead of from the inside out. You don't become a runner and then run. You run and run and run, and then you begin to understand what it means to be a runner. You begin to understand how running like an animal makes us human. And that, I believe, is an idea worth spreading. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.